The Papaya session. 3 scientists, Papaya, Banani, and Ravioli, and their assistant Igor, who work at Nasal, start showing interest in creationism. Alarmed, their superiors send them to a psychologist, Professor Fagioli, a shady character determined to get them fired by making them look insane. We are in Fagioli's office, where Papaya has just begun his psychological evaluation. Fagioli. Good morning, Mr. Papaya. Please, have a seat. Papaya. Good morning, Dr. Fagioli. It's an honor to be, evaluated. Fagioli. Good. Today we'll conduct a behavioral and decision-making assessment. I'll ask you to answer a series of questions with complete honesty. Your answers will be carefully analyzed and sent to your superiors. Papaya. I understand. I'll be as honest as I can. Fagioli. Perfect. Let me also inform you that the entire session will be recorded for transparency purposes. But don't worry. It's going live on social media. Ha ha ha. Freezing pause, then he corrects himself. I meant it'll only be seen by your superiors with the utmost privacy. Papaya. Yes, sure. Privacy, right. Fagioli, please sign here. Papaya takes the pen and signs the logbook. At that moment, from behind the desk, Tony the sock slowly pops up, worn like a puppet on Fagioli's hand. His button eyes sparkle. Tony, singing in an off-key little voice, if you tell a lie, you get a spy. And the next rocket launch, you'll watch from your couch. Papaya. Wait, the sock, sings Fagioli. Ignore Tony, he's just a therapeutic aid. Papaya. To himself, I'm not ready for this. Igor. Perfect. Now even Papaya's jumped on the Freudian slip trend. Hey, it's an honor to be, evaluated. I meant fired. Speaking of trends, Papaya's session is going live on all socials, right? I'm sure it'll go viral in no time. At least if they don't keep him as an astronomer, they can keep him as a clown. Pretty sure Nasal would get more value that way. Maybe we should add Fagioli's number 2. The guy pretending to make his socks sing. At this point, Fagioli's office has become a circus. How funny. Savedblog.com, the memory test. We're in Fagioli's office, where Papaya has just begun his psychological evaluation. Fagioli. All right, Mr. Papaya. Let's proceed with a simple memory test. I'll give you a set of directions. You must listen carefully and then repeat them. Papaya. All right, I'm ready. Fagioli. Reading from a sheet. Now then, exit the Nasal building, turn right onto Galvani Street. Go straight to the traffic light. Then turn left onto Discovery Street. Go past 2 roundabouts at the 3rd intersection, turn right. The square will be in front of you. Fagioli, can you repeat that? Papaya. Exit Nasal, right on Galvani Street, straight to the light, left onto Discovery Street. 2 roundabouts, 3rd intersection right. And square. Fagioli, correct. Silence. Fagioli grabs another sheet. Fagioli, 2nd round. From the square, go back. Take the 2nd left onto Archimedes Street, past the bakery. Turn right after the cinema, go down the tree-lined avenue, then take the 4th exit at the roundabout. As he reads, Papaya's phone vibrates. A short buzz, then another. Papaya looks at the screen. He turns pale. Fagioli. All right, please repeat. Papaya. From the roundabout, the bakery goes left, then you go back to the square. There's a cinema, and avenues. No, wait, I go straight to the bakery and... Pause. Is Nasal there? Fagioli, you forgot everything. Papaya, I'm sorry. Was that call from you? Fagioli, exactly. That was the test. You see, your memory works until something distracts you. The distraction interfered and reversed the information. Now I know what I needed to know. Papaya. So, it was an experiment? Fagioli, you don't get distracted because of lack of ability, but because of external worries. The phone is a breach between your role and your personal life. Is it perhaps a family issue? Papaya, yes. Fagioli, then tell me everything in detail. Igor, Papaya discovers that the phone call that distracted him was part of Fagioli's experiment. But why are you surprised, Papaya? Haven't you figured it out yet? Here at Nasal, everything is an experiment. Especially the one about your firing. How funny. Savedblog.com, Papaya's siblings. We're in Fagioli's office, where Papaya has just begun his psychological evaluation. Fagioli, so, family problems. Care to explain? Papaya, it's my siblings, or rather, my sister to start with. Yesterday she bought a sofa shaped like a pink swan, something no one asked for. She didn't even ask for a discount. Then she called me in tears because her card had expired. In the end, I paid for it. Fagioli, and does your sister work? Papaya, yeah, of course, they all do. But as soon as they get their paycheck, they blow it on useless stuff. Shoes with flashing lights, mechanical cats, a subscription to a magazine on how to pet cactuses. Then they remember they have bills, fines, dentists, and it's on me, Fagioli. And why do you feel obligated to help them? Papaya, it's always been that way, since I was a kid. Mom always says, my little Papayuccio, you're the responsible one, take care of your siblings. Yeah. So, every time they mess up, they call me, and I fall for it. Every time, otherwise Mom gets mad. A long silence. Fagioli slowly scratches his chin almost theatrically. From the drawer, Tony the sock puppet rises on Fagioli's left hand. He imitates him, scratching his own chin with the hole in his heel. Tony, Papayuccio mai, go back to mommy. Ha ha, Papaya the mama's boy. Ha ha. Papaya, why is the sock judging me? Fagioli, he's just helping, in his own way. Igor, a magazine called How to Pet Cactuses. How do you pet cactuses? With welding gloves. And why, most of all? And there's a whole magazine for this? Is it monthly or weekly? Wait a second, I'm turning into Fagioli. Papaya's siblings make him pay all their bills, and Papaya says, I always fall for it or Mom gets mad. So, Papaya, either you fall for it or you pretend to fall for it. We wouldn't want to make Mommy mad, would we? How funny. Savedblog.com. Used and also on sale too. Meanwhile, Ravioli and Banani are waiting in the lounge. Ravioli, so how did it go? Banani shrugged. Banani, I don't know. Fagioli suspects something. I'm not sure he really wants to help us. Ravioli, me neither. Especially that sock. Banani, Tony. Ravioli, Tony. I don't trust that guy at all. Banani, can I have my book back? Ravioli, here it is, I've got it. Banani flips through the book and gets angry. Banani, I knew it. You ruined it. Look here, covered in tomato stains. Ravioli, oops, I didn't notice. You know how it is, a little accident. Banani, a little accident, huh? Looks more like you used the pages to wipe your hands and face like they were napkins. Ravioli, really, let me see. Banani shows Ravioli the stained pages, a real disaster. The pages are unreadable. Ravioli, come on, it's just a few little spots, you can barely see them. Banani, oh yeah? Then besides a diet, you might need an eye exam too. How can you say you can't see these stains? Ravioli goes silent. Ravioli. Okay, sorry. Banani, I'm never lending you a book again. Igor, here's another book ready for the used book stall section. Used and also on sale. The cheapest section, and Ravioli's favorite. I bet half the books over there Ravioli's already bought. And the other half, he's the one who donated them. How funny. Savedblog.com. Recapping the evidence for the flood. Meanwhile, in the waiting room, Papaya and Ravioli are talking about a book Banani found on the geological evidence of Noah's flood. Banani, so, what do you think? Ravioli, we've got 6 clear pieces of evidence in the rock layers all over the world. Banani, do you remember what they are? Ravioli, yes. First, fossils found on high mountains, thousands of meters above sea level. Banani, they ended up there because of the flood and the rapid movement of the continents, which formed the high mountains. Ravioli. Second, we see evidence of the rapid burial of millions of animals of all kinds. Banani, which is impossible over millions of years. But it's exactly what we'd expect from a global catastrophe that covered everything in water. Ravioli. Third, a massive amount of material deposited in the same way all around the world. Banani, what we call mega sequences. Ravioli. Exactly. The rock layers appear to have been deposited quickly, one on top of the other, and they stretch across areas so vast they span continents. Banani. Whereas if it had taken millions of years, we'd expect more uniform layers everywhere. Ravioli. Fourth, what we see is sediment carried in enormous amounts and over long distances. Banani. And we find evidence of that in materials present in certain layers, whose source is nowhere nearby. Ravioli. Fifth, sharp boundaries between different layers with no signs of erosion. Banani. Which shouldn't be there if we're talking about millions of years, but we'd expect it in the case of Noah's flood. In Ravioli. Sixth, many layers deposited in rapid succession. Banani. As we can tell from the layers with bent rocks. Ravioli. Exactly. In fact, for rocks to bend, there are two possibilities. Either the rocks were still soft like mud and thus malleable, or they bent slowly due to heat, through metamorphosis. Banani. But the second case isn't ours, because if it were, we'd find metamorphic minerals, which we don't. Ravioli. Banani, the flood is real history. Banani, I agree, there's no other explanation. Igor looks totally shocked. Igor, okay. How funny. SaveBlog.com, the food war. Meanwhile, in Fagioli's office, Papaia's session continues. Fagioli, how many brothers and sisters do you have, Professor Papaia? Papaia, 3 in total, Mino and Nino, who are older, and Chantilly, my younger sister. Fagioli, 3 in total, huh? And you, Papaia, are you the oldest of the 4? Papaia, no. On the contrary, I'm the youngest of all. Fagioli, and yet your mother believes it's your job to take care of your siblings? Papaia, yes, exactly. More than believes, I'd say. Flashback. Mama Papaia's house interior evening. A typical dinner. The table is a battlefield. Mino and Nino, already teenagers, are laughing loudly while throwing meatballs and spraying ketchup everywhere. Plates clash, glasses wobble. Papaia is also at the table, 6 years old. He can barely reach the table. Tiny compared to the others. He clenches his little hands, trying to stay calm. Papaia, Nino, please stop, you're making a mess. Nino, shut up, snot nose. Nino throws a piece of bread at him. Pretending to be our dad now? A forkful of spaghetti hits the wall. Mom walks in from the kitchen, apron still wet. Mom, what a disaster. And you, Papaia. Papaia, I tried. I told them to stop. Mom, you failed. Now clean everything right now. Papaia, but why me? Mom leans down, looks him straight in the eyes. Her voice is grave, solemn, like she's announcing an irreversible destiny. Mom, God gave you responsibility. Now it's your duty to take care of your brothers, because they sure don't have any. Silence. Mino and Nino snicker, help themselves to more mashed potatoes. Mom walks away. Papaia picks up a rag and starts wiping the greasy floor, head down, eyes glassy. The scene closes on Papaia silently collecting the remains of dinner, alone, while the others keep eating. Fagioli, off screen. Interesting and useful. Igor. Hey, Papaia, not all that glitters is gold. Like this gift from God, called responsibility. No thanks, Lord, I'll take another gift instead. Maybe a nice singing voice for church. And sorry, Mrs. Papaia, but I didn't quite get this business of giving responsibility to those who don't have any. What is it, like a loan? And I didn't know responsibility was something you're born with. Like, Mino was born with a birthmark on his head, Nino with a mole on his shoulder. And Papaia, he was born with responsibility. Excuse me, but I thought responsibility was something you learn from your parents. But clearly you're right. Papaia's brothers were born completely lacking responsibility. The doctor even saw it in the ultrasound during the first trimester. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but this second child also shows no signs of responsibility. But who knows, maybe in the next scan, we'll see at least a little speck. For Fagioli, it's interesting and useful. Yeah, to get Papaia fired. Or maybe just to make him clean the office at the end of the session. Papaia, looks like you were born with more responsibility than I was. So go grab that broom from the closet and start sweeping. Don't forget, Nasal is counting on you. How funny. Savedblog.com. Relatives and bats. Back to Fagioli's office. Fagioli. But you were just a child. You couldn't possibly handle such a big responsibility. Couldn't your mother see that? Papaia. You see, my mom had how should I put it? A strong personality. Once she got something in her head, it was very hard to change her mind. Fagioli. And how do you know that? Did someone ever try? Papaia. Yes, of course. I remember one time. Flashback. Mama Papaya's living room afternoon. A living room filled with doilies, religious paintings, and the stale scent of lavender. Papaya's mom pours tea for her 3 friends, who sit straight as soldiers with their teacups in hand. Papaia walks by in the background with a laundry basket. Mom, in a solemn tone, the secret to a united family is simple. Whoever has more helps the others, always, no questions asked. Friend 1, but your son Papaia is only 6, poor thing. Mom, exactly. He's the most responsible one. See? He's already folding the tablecloths. Friend 2, and what if one day he can't take it anymore? Mom, oh, please don't start with this modern nonsense. If his brothers mess up, it's because he didn't guide them properly. Friend 3, skeptical. Sorry, but aren't your other sons older? Mom, clearly irritated. So what? Duty has no age. The mood shifts. The friends glance at each other uneasy. Friend 1, seems a bit extreme to me. Mom, in a cold voice. Oh, really? Extreme? She slowly stands up and walks to the corner of the room. She lifts a cushion and pulls out a baseball bat. Mom, let me show you what extreme really looks like. The friends jump up, spilling tea everywhere, and bolt out the door as Mom chases after them, swinging the bat. Mom, out of my house. Go give your parenting lessons to someone else, sweethearts. How funny. Savedblog.com. Igor and the Papaia family. Igor. See? Papaia is obedient and responsible. He's even folding the tablecloths. How do we reward him? We let him clean the bathroom too. Thanks, Mom. I wanted a remote-controlled car. But now that I think about it, cleaning the bathroom is way better. Sorry, but at some point I lost track. Mom says, Papaia is folding the tablecloths. The friend asks, and what if one day he can't take it anymore? Sorry, but that day was today. Papaia already couldn't take it anymore. And then Mom replies, modern talk. Like, what, in the past, people never had moments of, I can't take this anymore. Or maybe talking about it was taboo. Like a worker in the early 1900s carrying a 50-kilo sack of cement. And the boss asks, how's it going? You managing okay? And the guy wants to say, I can't take it anymore. But he can't. He's too ashamed. That's too modern a statement. So what does he say instead? Of course I'm fine. Go ahead and throw another 50-kilo sack on my back. Modern talk. And maybe in the 50s, there was even a revolutionary leader who one day, in front of the crowd and journalists, shouted, you know what? I can't take it anymore. Imagine the scandalized faces in the crowd. What did he say? But Papaia's mom was old school, and the phrase, I can't take it anymore, was definitely not allowed in her house. Little Papaia just had to tough it out, or else punishment. And if Papaia's brothers messed up, it was because he hadn't guided them properly, right? Maybe Papaia should have followed Mom's example and gotten himself a baseball bat too. Not sure it would have helped, but at least it would have been fun. Especially for the neighbors. Hey, Papaia, why didn't you ever think of that? Good old insurance policy. Goalkeeper style. Like at the Sunflower. But maybe the problem was your size, smaller than your brother's. No, wait, that can't be. According to Mrs. Papaia in her infinite wisdom, Duty has no age. Really? So even a newborn has duties to fulfill. And here I thought the saying was, love has no age. Love? Oh, there was plenty of that in the Papaia house. How funny. Savedblog.com. Here comes Paco. We're in the waiting room. With the book finished, Ravioli and Banani wait for Papaya's session to end. Suddenly, footsteps echo in the hallway. Hust! Ravioli looks through the open entrance door. His old friend Paco is passing by. Ravioli. Paco! Paco stops and turns around. Ravioli. Long time no see. What are you doing around here? Paco looks for a second, then recognizes Ravioli. Paco. Ravioli, it's been years, since high school. Ravioli. You haven't changed a bit. Paco. Well, you might have gained a few pounds. Ravioli. Maybe one too many lasagnas. But what are you doing here? Do you work at Nasal too? Paco. I used to, Ravioli. I used to. Long story. I just came to pick up a few things I forgot months ago when I left. Ravioli. I can't believe it. We worked at the same place and never ran into each other? Paco. That's because I worked in Sector C. It's on the other side of the building. Ravioli. Got it. Igor. Or maybe because Paco actually showed up to work on time. Paco. So, what about you? How long have you been working here? Ravioli. It's been 10 years now. I got in thanks to my great friend and colleague, Professor Papaia. Igor. Most people call that connections. Paco, Papaia. Never heard of him. Is he in Bart Blue Jeans group? Ravioli. No. Have you ever read Supernovae and Mental Voids? Paco. Can't say I have. Sounds like a unique title. But what are you doing at a psychologist's office? Don't tell me you question the Big Bang, too. Ravioli. Well, kind of. It all started with a book I found. Paco. Okay, I get it. The same thing happened to me. I also discovered the truth. Ravioli. The truth? Paco. Yes, Ravioli. Don't be afraid. I went through the same thing. That's why I left Nassau. Ravioli. You left on your own? Paco. Yes, and it was the right choice. Trust me. Ravioli. I don't know if I'd have your courage, but I'd like to show you a book we found about the evidence for the flood. Paco. It's clear that Noah's flood really happened. Don't be fooled by the millions of years narrative. See, if you start with the truth of the Bible as your foundation, everything else follows. The evidence speaks for itself. These are facts, not fiction. Ravioli. But how did you manage? I mean, financially. Paco. I found another job in my field. With my resume, it wasn't hard. The salary's the same as before. Ravioli thinks for a moment. Banani. Sorry to interrupt. But so you also believe the Bible is right? Paco. Of course. See, the earth is only a few thousand years old. That's clearly revealed in God's word. So we should expect to find a lot of evidence of its young age. And that's exactly what we find in geology, biology, paleontology, and even astronomy. Banani. Are you in a hurry? Why don't you sit with us? Paco. No, I'm on my lunch break. Sure, I'd love to sit with you. Igor. Well. Ravioli bumped into his old buddy Paco. While Paco is still in shape, Ravioli has added a few pounds. Sorry, Paco, but was that just a polite way of saying it? You know how they count the years of a tree? Banani. Yeah, you count the rings. Each ring is 1 year. Well, it's the same with Ravioli's age, except instead of rings, you count the kilos on the scale. 1 year, 1 extra kilo. Banani. So 20 years ago, Ravioli weighed... Ravioli. 120 kilos. He's right. Igor. The famous book by Papaia, Supernovae, and Mental Voids. He didn't mean to call it that. It's just that when he finished the book, he forgot to save the file. Paco left Nassau and found a new job with the same salary thanks to his resume. No point pondering that, Ravioli. That's not how it works for someone who got in through connections. If you change jobs, the best outcome for you would be working at an Italian restaurant. At least you'd never run out of lasagna at lunch. How funny. Savedblog.com. Thanks for watching.